Good evening. It is an honor to be with you tonight to receive the Ruthie Research Grant for my dissertation research. I am currently a PhD candidate at Gratz College, located just outside Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. My work is entitled Sexual Violence and Artistic Expression of Femininity, which is a comparative analysis of art created during and immediately after World War II in the concentration camps of Ravensbrück and Auschwitz. I began this work in 2022 and am in the process of analyzing and assessing the data that I have worked on collecting since then. I hope to be completed with my work in the fall of 2024 and will be using the funds from the Ruthie Research Grant to pay for the permissions from institutions around the globe to use the art I have been studying inside of my completed work. Through this study, I am looking at art through a thematic approach, working to determine if and what types of sexual violence occurred within each of the camps respectively. Additionally, I am looking at and analyzing archival oral testimonies to better understand the archival testimony data describing the types of sexual violence that was witnessed or experienced firsthand. I have collected over 50 pieces of art from women of all walks of lives and from places across Europe, including the Czech Republic, France, Poland, the Netherlands, Israel, and Germany, that ended up interned in Ravensbrück or Auschwitz. Many of the women were involved in some way with resistance movements within their home countries before being arrested. Some were artists by trade, some just tried to bear witness in whatever way they could. Some are artists that have become world-renowned for the depictions of extremist art, and have reproductions available at multiple institutions, such as Ella Lieberman-Schmier, Franz Ladol, and Violet Roger-Lecoq, while other artists are more obscure, such as Alper Himme and Adi Sickenbach. Some only have a handful of surviving pieces. Others have an entire book of their work that they had printed and released that they were able to smuggle out of the camps with. Despite the validity that many artists were given with their work, used as evidence of sexual violence during the Nuremberg trials, art as a primary source is more often seen as a secondary or tertiary piece of evidence instead of primary. I believe that in researching both archival testimony and art together, a better understanding of how sexual violence was experienced within the camps will come to light, and additionally, art will be seen as a primary visual testimony going forward. In my research thus far, I have found that very few of the artists took any liberty in adding or making changes to the everyday realities of life within the concentration camps, and did their best to depict their experiences as they witnessed it. Several of the artists have very little biographical data about them, except for their remaining art. Many of the women knew that anything they were ever to record could be used later on as a form of proof, that the stories they told and the marks that they carried were more gruesome than words alone could tell. Some of the women knew they could not write, but could draw and sketch, and that these works would be their remaining testimony. In researching sexual violence in the Holocaust, I have found that there is a lacuna of information that is just not clear. Typically, historians and scholars tend to lump all sexual violence under the same umbrella and accept that it has occurred. However, the knowledge of the types of acts or experiences that were specific to certain camps, ghettos, or people groups is still unexplored, and it is within this gap that I hope to begin the important work of providing a framework of the types of sexually violent experiences women underwent within the concentration camps of Ravensbrück and Auschwitz. I am thankful to Ruthie Tevol, her family, the Midwest Center for the Holocaust Education, the selection committee, and all of those throughout this process who looked at and believed in the significance of my research on sexual violence and artistic expression of femininity, enough to support its funding and success. I am beyond thankful to be chosen as the 2024 recipient of the Ruthie Research Grant, and look forward to being able to share with you my finished work in the future.